What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to Off the Schneid. It's Wednesday night as always. We're here, we're drafting no matter what. We're hoping to be in a biggest board, hoping it fills tonight. I know the Fantasy Dog Pound, shout out to Pat over there, is literally streaming one as we speak. So that filled and it took some time to fill. So I'm in one right now, waiting for it to fill. We're 6 to 12, halfway there. We'll kind of see if it does fill. Beyond that, nothing. We'll draft the big board and we might just jump into one right now and do that, waiting for this to fill. See if it does. Might end up doing 2 drafts tonight is kind of what I'm getting at. We'll see. Hopefully this fills. It's my third bullet, my last bullet. So not that I want to get it out of the way, but I want to draft my final bullet in this and then kind of share my strategy for what I've been doing. It's a little bit off the outside the box. Is definitely different than something probably most other drafters, streamers are doing as far as the big board, higher stakes, tournaments are concerned. But I'll share that after the fact. I don't want to, just give it away and then everyone knows what I'm kind of getting at and what I'm doing throughout the draft. My first 2 are very, very similar, and I'll show you those again after the fact. Again, hopefully this fills. Hopefully we can get rolling. But fingers crossed, it is what it is. So let's jump over. This is it. We're in the biggest board here, waiting for it to fill. 6 to 12, 6 spots open. So if you're in the chat, if you want to draft, biggest board, let's get it filled. Let's get it going. Fingers crossed. I didn't expect it to get halfway full, to be honest, this quickly. So I guess beggars can't be choosers on that one. But either way, let's just jump into a big board. Let's do that. I got a few bullets left there. Where are we at here? Those are my slows going. So 2 biggest boards that I've already drafted so far. I'm not going to share what I drafted quite yet. 115 big boards, almost there. I have 4 slows, so we're about 30 drafts left, 31 to be exact, obviously. Filled the little board, pretty easy to max that guy out. $3, 20 entries. So let's, like I said, let's jump into a big board, have some fun there, see how that goes. They fill quickly. We can at least do one of those and then see what happens. Waiting for one. So there we go. Where are we getting? I'm hoping for, I guess I'm at the 9. There you go. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the 9. Probably going to be AJ Brown. Maybe bring up Garrett Wilson on this. I have a lot of Garrett Wilson exposure, but it's all at like the 10 or 11 spot. So if I pull him up to the 9, that's going to make my Garrett Wilson team unique to me, to my portfolio, if you will, right? So I might do that. Might, like I said, pull him up to the 9. It's nothing crazy, that's for sure. Don't recognize too many names in here. Probably draft with some of these red badges, I'm assuming, but there you go. News for today, LSU Pro Day. Jaden Daniels weighed in at 210, which is a little bit surprising, and it's a good thing that he weighed in that heavy. That's very good for his draft stock. I think a lot of people thought he would weigh sub 200, 195, something like that. So it's good for his draft stock, that's for sure. Let's open up another window here for this. Keep an eye, or no, we can just bounce back and forth. Let's keep an eye on this biggest board. Again, if you're in the chat, you want to jump in the biggest board, we're 6 to 12 right now. Halfway there. Might get a fill tonight. We might draft it tonight. Fingers crossed. I'd like to get it drafted, like to do it on stream, like to get it done. Hopefully that's what the people came for, to watch the big money, high stakes draft. Not very high stakes, but it's the highest in the pre-draft big board. So there you go. Little beverage tonight. Just a plain ass Michelob Ultra. It was cheap at the liqueur store. And there you go. Not a big fan of that beverage, to be honest with you, but it'll wet your whistle, you know? All right, nine spot. Maybe Puka, but I think I'm going to bring up Garrett Wilson here. Unless Amon Ra's there. If Amon Ra's there, then I'll take St. Brown. That's an easy click. Justin Jefferson at 9, that's an easy click. But if it doesn't happen that way, yeah, it's either Amon Ra or Garrett Wilson here. Like I said, I want to pull him up a little bit in my next few drafts to try to get unique for me. I have a lot of Garrett Wilson, but I want some unique builds. And then it's pretty much, unless you want to scroll down and dip into this range of wide receiver, which is perfectly fine. You can absolutely, obviously do that. And maybe this is even something I do where I scroll all the way down to Josh Allen. I don't think I have a Garrett Wilson, Josh Allen start, and all the potential in the world that they play in the fantasy playoffs, maybe even week 17. So that's not a bad idea. And maybe I'll go that route depending on who's left here. If Saquon and JT, definitely Saquon, if they go, then chances are pretty high. I don't like the Marvin Harrison click there. If Saquon goes here, I might just take Josh Allen. And there you go. I might just go that route because I don't think I have this stack yet. And kind of see how I can build that out. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. I don't think I have that. It's a little early. You could call it a reach, call it what you want, but it's got to be relatively unique. Yeah, it's got to be relatively unique. I'm reaching on Josh Allen. It's not a reach, but you could call it that. It's tougher. Like, what is that? Half a round, 6 picks? Yeah, 6 picks, half a round. So it's harder to see that many, like stacks, like starts. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people are doing that. They're not going to do Garrett Wilson and Josh Allen at the 11. They'll probably go AJ Brown, maybe Puka, Gibbs, something like that. And then they're probably not pulling up Josh Allen. So I think it's unique. It could be a good start. We'll see. Jump over. Oh, we're 8. Only waiting on 4 for this biggest board. I think it's going to fill. That's awesome. We're going to get after it. Let's do this. I think it's going to fill. Waiting on 8. And then we'll have this one going in the background. Whoops, that's a slow, another slow, another slow. Geez, where are we at here? There we go. All right. I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get this biggest board in. That's a good time. I really want to stream this last bullet I got. So let's dig into it. Waiting on 4 for the biggest board. Doing a big board right now just to pass the time. But we'll keep an eye on it. Still waiting on 4. I think we're going to get this one in tonight. I'm excited for that. All right, starting the big board that I went with, Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson. Again, I think it's unique. It's unique for me. I don't think there'll be too many starts that go that route. So we'll see. We'll see how this kind of pans out. I like going Josh Allen a ton. I might have, my highest exposure might be Josh Allen. Right now it's Trevor Lawrence, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But Josh Allen's creeping up, and he might end up as my highest exposed quarterback just because it's so easy to go with Josh Allen and then, one other kind of mid quarterback, call it, I don't know, Brock Purdy, Tua, any of these guys in this range here. Any of these quarterbacks are perfectly fine to pair with Josh Allen, and then you can cut it off. You can cut it off. You can cut it off there. Even Aaron Rodgers, and then you're done. You're good at quarterback, and then you can. It allows you a little more flexibility at some other positions. And we'll get into that if or when, and hopefully I'm able to wrap up this big S board, and then I can show you all three after we're wrapped up this final draft here tonight. Hopefully, still waiting on 4. Show you my strategy there, because again, it's a little different. It's a little different than what other people are doing, I think. And it's all about just flexibility at a certain position is kind of what I'll say, I guess. It'd be great if Stephon Diggs falls to 33. That would be fantastic. Highly doubt it happens. But I'm more than happy to take Jalen Waddle here and just build out a double potential playoff week 17 type of stack with Josh Allen. That's kind of the whole point. Is this guy auto drafting? Maybe. Nope. Okay. And I'm definitely getting either Diggs or Waddle here. I hope it's Diggs, because I feel like that would be really unique. There he goes. That's fine. But I'll definitely take Waddle and then pair it up with I'm kind of banking on an AFC East playoff matchup. Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Josh Allen, Jalen Waddle. So let's go that route. And then we'll see how this continues to build out. It's pretty easy to bring in some Buffalo Bills later. You got Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, obviously late, and then Dalton Kincaid is definitely a target. So it's pretty easy to bring, a single, double, triple stack with the Buffalo Bills without Stephon Diggs. And I don't despise not getting Stephon Diggs. It's not the end of the world. So we'll see. And then where do I want to go? Don't mind clicking Derrick Henry here. Don't think I want to go James Cook in this build. I do have a fair amount of that, of Josh Allen, James Cook, because it's relatively difficult to get Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. So a lot of times I'll bring in James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, and then one of the late wide receivers. But I don't think I want to do that in this build. Unless I don't really have any other choice. Obviously, I'd love Malik Neighbors. I don't think that happens either. A couple fallers there, Stephon Diggs and Malik Neighbors. Be nice to scoop up that value. To be honest, I would like to stick in the AFC. Let's bring in Travis Etienne. Don't have a ton of shares of him, period. So this is definitely a unique build for me with Josh Allen. And I'm going to probably try to stay a lot on the AFC side. And just try to hope that I can get some correlation in the playoffs. It's not a bad, if it's a tiebreaker, then it's a perfectly viable strategy. And that's something that I buy into and something that I definitely do in my drafts. If it's only if it's a tiebreaker, I'm not focusing, completely on AFC teams and I'll avoid anyone in the NFC. Certainly not the case. It's just if it's a tiebreaker and it's close or it's a position battle or whatever, then I can look if they're AFC, NFC and try to build out. Maybe I can get a week 17 correlated, stack sort of thing. But where are we at here? Let's get ahead of the game. We're still waiting on 4 for this biggest board. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's only been I logged in, or sorry, I got into it. I jumped in the draft room about an hour ago, so I didn't expect it to get this full. So we'll see. I was expecting for it not to fill, and then we just maybe rip a big board or two, but we are doing a big board right now. 4 left for the biggest, my final bullet. Hopefully we get it filled. But where's our next pick? 57-64. So we can start thinking ahead. Could definitely go Christian Kirk, build out a Jacksonville stack. Don't mind that. I just said Trevor Lawrence is perfectly fine to match with Josh Allen. You can stop at 2. So might go that route. Rome Odunze is still my guy. Definitely still my guy. At 64, I think it's obvious I want to go Dalton Kincaid, especially with two tight ends going here. Definitely building out a little NFC Eagles stack at 12. So I don't expect he would take Dalton Kincaid. So I should be all right. No running backs are really in this range for me. So almost 100% I'll be taking a wide receiver here. George Pickens is on the table. Brian Thomas, Calvin Ridley, even all on the table. We'll see who falls into my lap at 57. Definitely taking a wide receiver. That's no question about it. Let's take a look at where we're at here. Still waiting on 4. Still waiting on 4. I think we're going to get there, but we'll see. It's a good time of night. It's a good time of night to be drafting. Fingers crossed it fills. All right. Pickens goes. A-Rich goes. A-Rich ahead of Patrick Mahomes, hey? Matches up with Pittman. I get that. That'd be fantastic for the Kelsey drafter to pick up a full 10 picks, almost a round of value on Patrick Mahomes. Good for you. I certainly won't be taking him. There we go. Pairs up with Rasheed. That's still good value. It's a nice start. It's a nice start right there. Roma Dunze goes. That hurts, but that's not the end of the world. Do I take Kirk over Ridley and Brian Thomas? In this case, I think I do. Might as well just match it up with Travis Etienne, start building out the Jacksonville stack. Keep it AFC. I mean, Tennessee's in the AFC as well. But let's go Christian Kirk. Just makes a little bit too much sense. Then we're definitely pairing up our Josh Allen with Dalton Kincaid. Hopefully this draft just kind of falls into our lap. That's what it's kind of doing so far, to be honest with you. Makes drafting easy when everything just kind of goes your way. Hopefully you don't get sniped too much. But it's early. We're 5 picks in. Still waiting on 4 in the biggest board. Fingers are still, all fingers and toes are crossed that this fills. 9, waiting on 3. Let's go. Let's go. I think it's filling. We're here. We're gonna wait. We're gonna fill it. We're gonna draft a biggest board, I think. I'm surprised that it's gonna fill. Should get Dalton Kincaid unless someone wants to double up on tight end. I mean, that would be unfortunate. It wouldn't make tons of sense. So we should be able to get Dalton Kincaid here. Then we're ahead of the game. Liking how this draft is going for this big board here. We're in good shape. I don't like getting left this behind at running back, but there's a good range here, right here. There's a few clicks here, but right here there's a good range. This is a nice range right here for running backs, especially to get your second, third, double tap it sort of thing. But we'll see how this shakes out. Definitely like Chuba. I've been drafting. He might end up as one of, if not my highest exposed running back. Big fan of Chuba Hubbard. I think he's just going to keep forcing his way on the field. And it is what it is. Dave Canales comes in. I like it there. There's another little range for some quality picks, quality clicks, especially these 3: Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen. Tyler Algier, I need to get more exposure to for sure. And I've been working on that. But we'll see. I also have a fair amount of Bijan, and I don't want to take Bijan's handcuff on the same team. So where are we picking next here? 81, 88. So where are we going? Should be a little too late to get Evan Ingram. I don't know if I want him anyways if he's there. We'll see. I have a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars stacks. And I kind of need to start purposefully avoiding it. It's just too easy to get. There's too much value there for me. I just think there's too much value with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's hard for me to not click them and not take Trevor Lawrence, in the whatever 10th round, or where are you getting them? 10th round. It's hard for me not to click Trevor Lawrence personally. But we'll see what happens in this draft. 5 picks away. Evan Ingram just went perfect. I'm actually happy about that. I don't want to have to make that choice. I'll definitely click David Montgomery if he's there. And there he goes. Najee's on the board for me. A lot of funny memes out there going on, and funny posts on Twitter right now about Cordarrelle Patterson going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he probably has an ADP now. Oh yeah, I'm not sure if it was there already, but people are definitely taking him with Arthur Smith in town. Might have to go wide receiver here, to be honest. It's either JSN or Hopkins. If either of those are there, yeah, I gotta click wide receiver here because it really falls off a cliff. And to be honest, I don't mind getting more exposure to JSN. I have some early, but I haven't clicked his name in quite a while. So there he goes. That's unfortunate. But I'll definitely take Nuke Hopkins here. Even though I do feel like I'm falling behind a little bit at running back, I think I can make up for it, especially because there's a pretty big cliff at wide receiver after DeAndre Hopkins. And I think last year's stat line is completely on the table for a repeat this year for DeAndre Hopkins. So we'll see. I'm clicking him. I'm all right with Calvin Ridley coming in. I'm all right with Will Levis, slinging the rock. And then that brings in the potential to bring Levis into this team. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is still on the table. Tua is still on the table. Trevor Lawrence is still on the table. So if you watch the show a lot, you know me, I like to leave my options open, especially if chances are fairly high that I'm only taking 2 quarterbacks, which they are, obviously, with Josh Allen. They're very, quite high, quite high. Another AFC team as well. So, if I can with tiebreakers, I will probably be looking at AFC teams purposefully, as long as it makes sense. As long as it makes sense. It's got to be just a tiebreaker. Can't be, forced. So, and, Pollard's not a bad click here either, to be honest with you. But I don't think I'll go that route. Because then it's hard. I know he's a pass catching back, Tony Pollard, but it's hard to say who's going to be the pass catching back for Tennessee. Is it going to be, they both had 50 plus catches last year. So who's going to be the benefactor? Who's going to get those catches? Spears or Pollard? They're probably going to do a lot of the same things, to be honest. That's what they're going to do. They're going to mix and match. They can both play in any situation, which is a good thing. That's a good, for real life football, that's definitely a good thing. And I'm still taking Najee here. Like I'm not scared, obviously, about Cordarrelle Patterson coming to the Steelers. I don't think that changes Najee's role whatsoever. So we're going to still bring him in here. And again, another AFC makes it easy to click them. AFC team. I like the way this is building out. So we'll see. Oh man, we got down to 3 more in the biggest board. Now we're down to 5. Went to 4, now to 5. This is how it goes with these biggest boards this time of year. In the summer, wouldn't have this issue. In the summer and the fall, these would fill relatively quickly. Quickly enough to be able to just do a stream and advertise that you're doing a stream. Even I think like the 250, I can't remember what the tournament was called, but or $75 maybe. I can't remember the buy-in last year, but relatively higher throughout the summer, filled fairly quickly. You're able to advertise it and stream it. Fuck, we're down to 6 now. Everyone's leaving. Got so close to getting this going. Now it's looking like I thought, and it wasn't going to fill. That's a real kick in the nuts, boys and girls. I had a lot of hope that that was going to fill. We were close. +3, now we're +6. You never know. Maybe some of those guys will come back. I'll give it to the end of this big board. We'll see. We'll see where we're at. I'd like to get this done today. Obviously, I'd like to get this streamed, but I'm not going to wait all night. Obviously, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, we'll see how it fills. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, those people come back. A couple fresh faces, and we can get this done tonight. So 105, 112, next couple picks. Where are we looking? 105, 112, bringing in 112 is a good spot for Trevor Lawrence if I want to go that route, which I may. Could go Mike Williams, but I'm just not picking him. I'm just not picking him. How many torn ACLs have we seen in MetLife Stadium? And Mike Williams is habitually injured. I'm just not, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'll mix and match with some Ty Conklin maybe, and I'll even just take Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. That's perfectly fine. But I don't want to be the guy holding the bag on Mike Williams unless he falls like so uncomfortably past ADP that I have to. If he's sitting there at 140 or something, yeah, all right, I'll take Mike Williams, but I'm just not taking him at ADP personally. I'd rather Xavier Worthy. I'd rather Jacoby Myers. I'd rather Tyler Lockett. I'd rather Gabe Davis. So, and I have a lot of Gabe Davis shares again with the Trevor Lawrence. So I might just stop with the pass catching back, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, bringing Trevor Lawrence, done at quarterback. We'll see what I do at tight end, but I can definitely take, Dalton Schultz moved up a little bit. He was mid 120s not long ago. He's definitely moved up. Nothing wrong with that. I think there was tons of value with Dalton Schultz. I wasn't drafting him that much just because I don't have a crazy amount of Stroud. I think CJ Stroud's ADP has been pushed up a little too high. I think that'll settle after the draft and throughout the summer. I think that'll pull back and settle to where it probably should be. Where's he at now? 59, yeah. And, I just have a hard time taking him a full round ahead of Joe Burrow. Yes, I'm a Bengals fan, but the reality is he's a much more proven quarterback, Joe Burrow. Better weapons in Cincinnati. A better offensive coach, I think. I don't know why I'm doing quotation fingers over here, but I think it's a better offensive coach, better offensive system. Yeah, I'm taking Joe Burrow over Stroud in a lot of instances. I just have a hard time taking him in that range. I really do, but I think it'll pull back. I'm going to get my exposure over the summer. I'm not too worried about it. And we'll kind of take it from there. Think they'll be going wide receiver here. I'm kind of boxing myself out of running back, which I don't like to do, but it just makes the most sense. I'm not going to love my running back room. I know that right now I know that. I'm not going to like my running back room. So like I said, it could go Mike Williams, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go Xavier Worthy. I think Xavier Worthy is a hands down a first round pick. When you run 4-2-1, yeah, you're gonna be a first round pick, I think. Putt Daddy, I am in a biggest board, waiting for right now. 6 more to fill it. We got to 3. We got to +3. I thought it was gonna fill. We were so close. Now we're back to +6. So we'll see. So I'm in the room. We'll jump over. Waiting on 6, waiting on 5. All right. Did you just jump in? I don't know, but waiting on 5 now. Back to 5. Fingers crossed. This is my last one. Trying to max it. All right, we're going to go. Just finish the one. Yeah, I saw you were in the fantasy dog pound draft. Just takes a long time to fill. Yeah, like I said, I jumped into this one immediately after Pat filled and on his stream. So then I jumped into this. I didn't think it was going to fill as fast as it did. I thought we'd be sitting here with, four spots and waiting on 8 sort of thing. And then it filled relatively quickly, or almost filled relatively quickly. And then we're sitting here. Now we're twiddling our thumbs, hoping it fills. So we are in the biggest board. We're still hoping to draft it as long as it fills in a relative amount of time. I guess it basically until the end of this big board here. Can't sit here all night waiting for it to fill. I really want to stream it though. I really want to stream it and show my strategy. Again, I said it all show so far, but I think I'm a little bit different with what I'm doing with these big-est boards with these bigger money, higher stakes, whatever tournaments. I think my strategy is a little bit different than most. And I'm happy about that. That's for sure. But I definitely want to share it. I just want to share it after I finish it up, and definitely before after I stream it. Right. I don't want everyone just to know what I'm doing, especially if they're in the draft room with me. But we'll see. Where are we at on this big board here? So we're at Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, done at quarterback. I have a lot of this combination of quarterback room, and it just allows me to stop. I'm done at quarterback. There's tons of value, I think, with both these teams realistically, but definitely with the Jaguars. I think there's tons of value with the Bills, tons with Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir going so late. Yes, they could draft a wide receiver in the first round. I just don't think that's the smart thing to do for the franchise with all the talent and all the skill players they lost on defense in the offseason. I think it would be prudent for the Bills to go defense, especially the back end of the defense. And if you look at Shakir's efficiency, 6 targets. He didn't catch 6 targets. That's pretty incredible. Obviously, it's not particularly sustainable, but he has the trust of Josh Allen for sure. If you watch film in the offseason, you got to be sitting there saying, God damn, every time I threw the ball to Khalil Shakir, he's coming down with it. Every time I threw him the ball, he's coming down with it. So you earn that trust, right? So I like him. I like Khalil Shakir. I'm drafting a lot of them, maybe too much, to be honest with you. Do I want to triple stack with Shakir and Curtis Samuel? And Gabe Davis is still there too. So this is what I'm talking about. The Jacksonville Jaguars. There's so much value. It's so easy to stack them up. All of them fall constantly. It's just there's just so much value for these guys. But I think I am going to go Curtis Samuel over Shakir in this instance because I have so much Khalil Shakir, especially with Josh Allen. And I don't have as much Curtis Samuel. I definitely am boxing myself out a running back, which I really don't like. But it is what it is. Actually, Schultz, I might have to take if he's there. Okay. That sucks. Auto drafter. But that's all right. Yeah, considering what I have with Jacksonville, I've got ETN, I've got Christian Kirk. I'm going to go with the Buffalo side and bring in Curtis Samuel. Yeah, you never know. Khalil Shakir might get pushed. Do I limit my stacks in the biggest board? I don't. It depends. Like I would be okay with taking. Are you talking about like 2 teams, 3 teams, or are you talking about like a double stack, triple stack, quadruple stack? Because I'll take, if it's a team like the Bills, I'll take Josh Allen. I'll take Josh Allen. I'll take James Cook. I'll take Dalton Kincaid. I'll take Khalil Shakir, and I'll take Curtis Samuel. I don't give a shit. I'll take all those players. If it's the Bills we're talking about. Um, all right, lost out on the rest of my stack, but that's fine. Jalen Warren, it is. Love me some Jalen Warren, but triple stacks on one team. Yeah, I would do that. I would, again, if it depends on who it is, depends on the team. I'm not triple stacking, even Miami, a team like that. I'm not triple stacking. I would take like Tua with Achan and Tyreek or Waddle. And I guess you could bring in Jonnu, so maybe that's not a great example. But a team like the Bills for sure. Yeah, I'll take all of them. I'll take all of them. I'm perfectly fine with that. In a 4-12 advance, if I have one of the best offenses in the NFL, which I think everyone can agree the Bills are, I don't care that, they're not all in my lineup. Like chances are every single week there's going to be 2 or 3 Buffalo Bills in your lineup. 2 or 3 if you have 5. Josh Allen's going to be in your lineup pretty much every time, right? Every week. And then one of his pass catchers, maybe 2, and or James Cook, running back. Plus, he catches a lot of balls out of the backfield, so I don't mind stacking up Josh Allen with James Cook one bit. High-powered offense, plus he catches a lot of balls. Absolutely, absolutely, give me as much of that as possible. So it just depends on the team. It really just depends on the team. But I do want to stack up my quarterbacks minimum. I don't want to take anybody naked. Like that's for sure. I definitely do not want to take any quarterback naked in that contest. Um, I mean, most contests, I don't want to take any quarterback naked, to be honest with you. But sometimes it's not a bad thing. Again, unless you're getting like some extreme value. If someone drops like 20 picks past ADP, yeah, take him naked, no problem. If someone like, again, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, sometimes you see a lot fall, 20, 25 picks past ADP. So hell yeah, I'll take that value, no problem. And I'll take him naked, no problem. So it just depends how the draft room rolls out. But if it's within my control, then yeah, that's the way I go about it. Waiting on 5 in the biggest board, down to 5 again. Still got our fingers crossed. We still got time to get this thing filled and do a stream. Where are we? 153 and 160. Couple picks. Don't like where I'm at with running back, so I think I will be looking at running back here. It's a good range. Definitely a good range. I don't mind Tyler Algier here, but I'll probably take him at 160 if he's there. I definitely don't feel like I need to reach for Tyler Algier, but I would like him on this roster. Definitely not a quarterback. I'm more than happy with where I'm at wide receiver. That's for sure. I'm okay with tight end. I'm going to bring in 3. I've committed to three tight ends. That's fine. And again, that gives me that flexibility with only taking 2 quarterbacks. So good range for wide receivers here as well. Rookies, Roman Wilson's there, Xavier Legette. If you want to backstack Atlanta with Darnell Mooney, there you go. Jonnu Smith getting pushed up draft boards. A little rich for my blood, but he's available. Yeah, running back, tight end. That's not a bad route. That's another thing I was going to say, Putt Daddy, to your comment earlier. Like, I'll double stack a team without a quarterback if it's the right team. And Miami's one of them, not with Jonnu, but Waddle and Achan. If you can go Christian McCaffrey and one of Ayuk or Debo, that's perfectly viable. Who else? There's a few other teams that you can take two of without the quarterback, right? Where are we going here? Definitely going to be, I have so much Marshawn. He's my highest exposed player, so I might go Braylon here. But I just really like the potential for Marshawn Lloyd. I just like how hard he works. And I think the reputation that he has with his, college coaching staff, his the two teams he played for in college. Man, it's hard to click. I don't know. This is a toss up. I'm gonna go Braylon Allen here. No, I'm gonna go Marshawn Lloyd because I already have Najee the plotter. I do have some breakaway here, some big play potential with Jalen Wright, but I'd rather take the big play potential with Marshawn Lloyd. Plus, he's up there for running back one in this class. Not that Braylon Allen isn't, but I really wanted to see him run a 40. He's basically just relying on his tape, which is fine. That's not a terrible idea. And Braylon Allen might still be there, but I'd like to get Tyler Algier. So I'll probably go. Actually, is that really true? Braylon Allen can get drafted somewhere and have a legitimate role. Bijan Robinson is going to be a workhorse for the Falcons. So Tyler Algier is going to do probably less than he did last year, unless there's an injury. It's just too hard to click Tyler Algier over a guy like Braylon Allen. I'll take Tyler Algier over any of these other running backs in this range. But it's hard to take him over Braylon Allen, in my opinion. That's a part of the reason why I have so much Braylon Allen and Marshawn Lloyd, and I don't have a lot of Tyler Algier. I need to get more Tyler Algier, but it has to make sense. I just don't think I can take him over Braylon Allen. And I won't. It is what it is. I'll just keep adding shares. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, talk me out of it. Yes, Braylon Allen could get drafted somewhere and not really have a role, be Zamir White in his rookie year. Very possible, but I'm going to go that route. And now I've caught up at running back, which makes me happy. Still down 2 tight ends. We're waiting for 4. Waiting for 4 in the biggest board. We're back to 4. We were at 3. We're at +3 at our shortest. Down to +6. Now we're at waiting for 4. Fingers crossed. Really want to get this rolling. Fingers crossed. Let's go. All right. 177, 184. Done at quarterback. Like my running back room now. Caught up. Love my wide receiver room. And I'm fine at tight end as long as I take 3. Which is easy to do. So, what am I at? 177, 184. Hunter Henry, just so not sexy. Don't think I'll go down that road. I like JT Sanders. I'll probably click him. Bring in a rookie. Makes tons of sense. It's starting to thin out. Now you can click wherever the hell you want. Even, 14th round, I always say, even earlier if you really want to, but 14th round for sure for me. Scroll as far down as you please. Pick your guys. Take who you like. Take situations that you like, whatever it is. Scroll down as far as you want. Maybe I'll go Audric Estime here. Haven't taken him in a month probably. My exposure is down to right around 15%, and I'd like it to get lower. So maybe I shouldn't take them, but I would like it to get around that 10% range. I still have 30 drafts to make that happen. I can easily do the math on that and see where it is, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So I won't worry about it too much. I'll definitely take Antonio Gibson. Or not. Audric Estime, I don't mind. Won't be taking Tank Bigsby. Drying out at running back, so I'm super glad that I caught up there. I'm not taking a lot of Rico Dowdle. I know that's a lot of people's darling late round pick right now, Rico Dowdle, but he's not mine. He's not on my list personally. Geez, so thin right here. So I don't mind scrolling down. I'm gonna bring up JT Sanders actually. I think Jatavian Sanders is gonna be at least a third round pick, maybe second round pick. And I think he's gonna have a role in that big slot tight end, Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid type of mold. And with this build, I want that. I'm happy with the rookie tight end there. Very happy. Very happy. Maybe I can bring in a Mike Gesicki here. I don't think it's as cut and dry. I won't hear. Sorry, maybe in my next pick. I'm not going to bring him up that far. I've been clicking, even though I don't like him a lot as a player. I don't really like him as a prospect from watching tape on him. Teams seem to be interested. He looked good at at his pro day, ran a quick 40. I've been clicking a lot more Malachi Corley lately, even though I don't really like him. Like I always say, have your takes, draft like you're right, but you always have to leave room that you're completely fucking wrong. Like you don't know what you're talking about. You're completely wrong, and you should be picking this player. And I think that could be Malachi Corley for me. So even though I don't like him, I'm still clicking him because teams seem to be interested. They are interested. They are for sure. There's a lot of buzz around his name. So, okay, I have to get on board, right? We're in the 16th round, waiting on 4 for the biggest board. Fingers crossed. Let's go. Really like to get this drafted tonight on stream. Final bullet. And then we could talk about the strategy that I went into with these higher stakes drafts. Fingers crossed. Where are we at? 201, 208, 4 more picks. We're so close. 201, 208. I will take Audric Estime here now that he's fallen. Maybe. Gesicki went. Okay, that's fine. Not going to cry over that. I think one of my favorite late round tight end clicks right here, Daniel Bellinger. Darren Waller doesn't want to play football. Just retire. Get it over with. Just officially retire. And then Daniel Bellinger can kind of take over in that role. And he's going to rise. Nothing crazy. He'll probably rise to, where we're at right now in the draft, the 190s, right around this range, higher than where Darren Waller is right now, for sure. Right in here is probably where he rises to. We'll see. Still waiting on 4, +4. Come on. We're so close. It went to 5, now back to 4. I think people are coming back. that were once registered for it, and then they get out, and then they come back and wait for a bit more, see if it fills, lose patience. Yeah, that's kind of how these seem to go. And this is, I just didn't expect it to get this close. It'd be a lot easier to say, I'm not going to wait any longer, screw it, if there was, you know, we're waiting on 8, then it's just never going to fill. And this might not. We might be wasting our time here. We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Najee Harris, Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, Curtis Samuel, Malachi Corley, Dalton Kincaid, and Jatavian Sanders is what we're looking at in this big board. And again, I don't know if I'll be done at 6 with Audric Estime here. It might be okay. Might be a little fragile, but might be okay. And there he goes. So we'll see. If I might bring in just a late round running back and be okay with where we're at here. Zay Jones is kind of off my board. Does make sense for this a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to go down that road. I might. No, I don't think I can push tight end, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think I could push tight end here. I think I got to go. Yeah. Unless I'm okay with Bellinger. Yeah, I'm going to go either Burton or Malik Washington. Jermaine Burton, I'm glad I had my bags packed fairly early. I was in on him fairly early. People like to talk about, the next Puka Nakua. I think that could be Jermaine Burton, really. That took the decision off my plate, which is fine. There's not a lot of buzz around his name realistically, but ran perfectly, fast enough in the 40. And, Alabama recruit, just didn't have a very good, passing quarterback, at least not this past season at Alabama. So, do we really just take him off our board because of that? No, I don't anyways. We're down to +3 again. Let's go. Come on. If some of those other guys that were in it or other people that were registered, if they come back, this thing might fill. I'm still optimistic. That would be great. If it fills when this finishes too, that would be perfect timing. That would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. I'll go with, how many picks do I have left? 3 more picks. It's probably going to be 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and 1 tight end. So who do I want to go with for a running back here? Maybe a Michael Carter team. I'm going to go Malik Washington here. No, I'm done at wide receiver. It's either running back or tight end. Pretty much definitely going to go with Daniel Bellinger here, and then finish it up with a running back to wrap up this draft. Big board's in the books, more or less. We're all here for the biggest board. We're waiting on 3. We're almost there. Fingers crossed. Finish it up. Final bullet. Let's go. I'm going to put out a tweet here, and you never know. Hopefully entice some people. All right. All right. There we go. Let's go. Waiting on this biggest board. Waiting on 3. We're so close. Just waiting on 3. Really like to get this filled. Final bullet. I'm optimistic. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Where is my big board we're doing here? There we go. Bunch of slows. Okay. 2 more picks in this big board. Fingers crossed we fill. 225, 232. Gonna wrap it up with Daniel Bellinger. Then I need a running back. Might just go Izzy Abanikanda. I'm drafting a lot of him. I just feel like he has the role. I know what his role is going to be. He's the backup. He's the handcuff for Breece Hall. There has been some injury history for Breece Hall. I don't love bringing it in with Garrett Wilson here, but if Breece Hall gets injured, that does not matter. So, yeah, I think that's the click regardless. Let's go like that. Oh, we just lost one. Waiting on 4 now for the biggest board. I don't know if this is going to happen, peeps. I don't know if this is going to happen. Can't sit here all night. It's so frustrating, especially when you get so close. +3 twice, and we just can't get any closer. Sad. Sad day. Maybe I give Will Shipley a whirl in this one. What do I got for Will Shipley exposure? 2 drafts with Will Shipley. Huh. That's another guy that I might just be completely wrong on. I might just be completely wrong on Will Shipley. But Abanikanda is too defined. Yeah, you got to pick your battles. I don't want to draft with sharp drafters. I want to draft with, mind you, everyone that's drafting right now is relatively sharp. Everyone that's drafting in the biggest board $100 entry is quite sharp for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 dead spots. But other than that, it's pretty sharp drafting in these biggest boards. So, beggars can't be choosers. And to be honest, most people stay in their lane and draft who they need to draft, build out their stacks, blah, blah, blah. But we'll see. We'll see if we get close. We're +4 right now. It's gotten to +3 twice. And we're just holding on for dear life here. Maybe we'll take a quick exposure check after this big board here. Try to kill some time. Keep our fingers crossed. But we can't stay on here all night, right? So let's see. So there's the team. Did a quick big board, hour into the stream. Still waiting for this to fill. We were waiting for 6 when we started. And I was hoping we'd get there. Got to +3. Ugh. Anyways, for the big board that we just did, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. I like that room. That's very common for me. I have a lot of QB stacks, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne paired with Trevor Lawrence, obviously. Najee Harris, Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd, Braylon Allen, Israel Abanikanda, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Christian Kirk with my Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, Nuke Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, Curtis Samuel, Malachi Corley, Jermaine Burton, Malik Washington, Dalton Kincaid with my Josh Allen, Jatavian Sanders, and Daniel Bellinger is the wrap up on not a bad team. I have a lot of these two. There's a lot of like Jermaine Burton, Malik Washington, Javon Baker, Pearsall, those kinds of at the end of the draft. That's why I always say there's tons of value at the end of these drafts at wide receiver. Could these guys end up being nothing? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But they have a better shot than, you know, Darius Slayton, in my opinion. KJ Osborne, definitely. Whatever. But there you go. There's the wrap up. Waiting on 3 again. Waiting on 3. Got a few slows going. Let's take a look at some exposure. We're going to go like this and take a look at some the big board exposures here. Where do I need to stop? I need to stop too much Ray Davis, too much Eric Gray. I like Eric Gray a lot. I like the potential that he could be, 1A, 1B type of running back. It's a poor offense, but the opportunity could be there. This is way too high. Way too high for let's zoom in on this. Way too high for Eric Gray. I need to slow down for sure. And I haven't taken him in a long time. I have 35 more drafts. No, 30 more drafts. With the one I did tonight is not registering. That's fine. And my 4 slows I got going. I'm perfectly happy with Marshawn Lloyd here and James Cook and Brian Thomas. Tons of bags packed in the 80s, 90s at ADP for Brian Thomas. So he's done nothing but move up, which I expected. More than happy to have my bags fully packed. 30% I'm more than happy with Brian Thomas. Jahan Dotson, I've certainly slowed down on. He was up here in the mid 30s. Definitely slow down on him, and I need to keep slowing on Jahan Dotson. Not that I won't draft him. And he falls past ADP all the time. So that's when I'll be taking my Jahan Dotson shares from now on. Ray Davis, definitely got to slow down. I'm not there with Nick. I think his last name is Fredo, Nick Fredo, NF 42. Draft with him a lot. If you guys have seen him in rooms, he's got like 50% Ray Davis, 50 to 60% Ray Davis. I'm probably the biggest shareholder of Eric Gray that you've seen. So definitely got to slow down there. Happy with Jalen Wright. I was packing my bags in the 200s, 190s, 180s, 160s, 170s, all the way up. And now he's, 140s. So yeah, 25% exposure I'll probably end at roughly. And I'm more than happy with that. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 exposed quarterback. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. Dalton Kincaid, tight end, more than okay with that. Javon Baker, I think I need to slow down there. 24%. I'd like to get that 15 to 20% maybe. That needs to slow down, but it's just value at the end of the draft. And he could get second round capital. And if he goes to a quality offense, Alabama recruit, goes to UCF where they have not very good quarterback play. But he still stands out. I think he led the nation in yards per catch average. So big playability. I like what I see in Javon Baker when I watch film on him too. So he's definitely up there for me. Trey Burks, I've completely e-braked it. Just stopped drafting. Literally as soon as they got Calvin Ridley, it was like, okay, just e-braked it. No more drafting Treylon Burks. And it's getting down, and I'd like to get it to get certainly under 20. I probably, I picked him once or twice here and there when he falls way past ADP and he's like my last pick. And then it's fine to do so, I think. But I'd like that to fall some more. Braylon Allen, I'm actually all right with that. I'm happy with where it's at. I'm happy it's fallen down to about 20%. That's kind of where I'd like to be. If it falls under 20, perfect. That's totally fine. Jerome Ford, I was getting too hot and heavy on. I do like the click. I do like Jerome Ford. I do like the potential of him being the RB1 in that backfield. It's hard to say if Nick Chubb's going to come back and be the same player, especially at the running back position. So I'm okay with this. Again, if it falls down, I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine. I've been adding shares of Marvin Mims. Perfectly acceptable to say that he's going to be the wide receiver 1 in Denver, even with, or especially with Josh Reynolds coming in. That does not concern me one bit. I think that Jared Stidham can sling the rock well enough to make Marvin Mims viable. So I'm happy to, especially in the ranges he's going, if he can be the wide receiver one on the Denver Broncos, I think that that's extreme value that you get right there. Extreme value. So I'm happy. I'm happy to keep picking up shares, and I will keep picking up shares. Burton, I'm fine with there. Again, bags were packed. He's rising. Khalil Shakir, I'm happy with that. Chuba Hubbard, I'm definitely gobbling up. I think that where he goes is a little bit criminal. I guess the potential is there that he's not the starting running back, but in my eyes, he is. That's how I'm drafting him. Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, yep, happy with that. Will Levis, I've been pounding the tables for the Titans the whole offseason. We'll see where it lands for me, but that was my stand early. Fant, I'm glad I've slowed right down with him because he goes back to Seattle. If I was hoping my Bengals would be going after a guy like Noah Fant, made lots of sense. I was just hoping he was going to leave Seattle, but I am still picking up some shares here and there where it makes sense with, Colby Parkinson leaving, Will Dissly leaving, more importantly, Pete Carroll leaving. Right. So there's a whole new regime in there. So he might just have that opportunity in Seattle. So I'm okay with my shares here, but I don't want it to be, in the mid 20s where it was when he was still a free agent, when I thought he might leave Seattle. So I'm okay with where he's at, and it'll probably go down from here, right around 15%. That's perfectly fine. What else we got? Ramondre. That's a tough click. These days. I have a lot. Obviously, I got a lot early. 19 shares, 16%. I'm okay with that. I'll keep it around here. Right around here is where I want to be. I'm happy with that. Gabe Davis looks good. Malik Washington, I'm happy there. David Njoku, I'd like to add some shares. Alec Pierce, I was way too hot and heavy early. Slowed right down on that. He's a tough click as well. If they add a wide receiver, a lot of people are saying the Colts add a wide receiver in the draft. They think that's one of their biggest needs. I don't. I actually, especially with the scrambling running quarterback like Anthony Richardson and a strong arm quarterback like Anthony Richardson, most go routes in the NFL last year, Alec Pierce. So just run fast in a straight line and Anthony Richardson throw the ball as far as he can, just run under it, fall into the end zone. One play is all you need for him to get in your lineup. So I'm okay with having him on certain rosters and certain builds, but I do want this to pull back. I want this to be around 10%, not 15. So I've certainly slowed down. I'm going to keep slowing down, but he's still a viable pick, just in the right build where it makes sense. Quentin Johnston, that's where I want to be. Happy to be around 15%. I'll stay there. That's where I'd like to stay with him. And it opens doors. The Chargers' door is open. You can get a falling and late Justin Herbert and then backstack them with, Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer. So chances are they're very high that they take some sort of wide receiver in this year's draft. And it could be a guy like Rome Odunze in the second round. But we'll see, considering the Michigan connection there. But either way, I'm happy with that. Bateman slowed right down. Got to keep slowing down. But I don't mind the exposure there. I'd like him to pull back under 10% for sure. So hard stop button on that. Audric Estime, I got to where I want to be. I haven't drafted him in, like I said, about a month. He was up there with my Braylon Allen shares, 25, pushing 30%. And that was way too rich for my blood. After he runs a 4.7 plus at the combine, didn't look any faster to me at his pro day. There was some, contention there, whether he ran a 4.5 or, he was up over the 4.6s and pushing 4.7 again. I think it was basically the same thing. Maybe he shed a little bit, but he is what he is. He's a thunder back and goal line type of guy. We'll see where he lands, but I'm trying to get that around 10% after that showing at the combine. But there you go. There's some top 15% type of guys where I got to slow down, what I got to do. But we're dropping like flies in this in this biggest board here, guys. Down to, we were just at +7. Went from +3 down to, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 7. I'm going to call it, guys. This just isn't going to happen. Just isn't going to happen. Maybe we'll try again. Maybe we'll try again tomorrow or Friday or on the weekend or something. I'll try to I really want to stream my last biggest board and show my kind of strategy for these, higher dollar value drafts, right? But we can't sit here all night and just cross our fingers and hope. So I'm going to call it. We're leaving. But there you go. That's we're gonna wrap up this lackluster, super sad episode. I was really hoping to get this biggest board. I thought we were gonna get there. We were so close, +3 while I was in the big board drafting there. So we still drafted. Obviously, we're always gonna draft on a Wednesday. Talk through some exposures there. We're going to try again on this biggest board. I'm not going to give it up. I'd like to still stream it. So hopefully maybe next time I'll just have a regular title, everything like that. I won't promise a biggest board because they're tough to fill. With Pat getting his filled right before me, I had a pretty good feeling it wasn't going to happen. So here we are. I was optimistic when we were this close. Either way, we'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe, click the notification bell so you know when I'm going live. Hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind. Hopefully you enjoyed the content tonight. A little bit lackluster. My apologies. We'll try again. But like we always say with Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight's draft we were right. Have a good night. Take it easy. We'll see you next time.